One. Welcome, everybody. This is Event Ensemble Spotlight, and I am just thrilled. Purple. There's a pink. Anyway, I am thrilled to have the amazing Lady Jewel Pearl in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It is an honor to be here.
Honor. Oh, you flatter me. The truth is, I'm the lucky guy. Let me just take off my glasses because I think it's so important to say that I have had the honor and the joy of working with this young lady. And here's the deal. Planners are a dime a dozen, but true professional event planners like Pearl, they're far and few between. And that was the experience that I had working with you, and I can't wait to do it again. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Oh, well, again, thank you for having me. It's a lot of fun to be here. I love that you use the different picture because then people can see my multiple hairstyles.
But no more hats? No more hats?
No more hats for now. I know it's sad for you because I know you enjoy and appreciate and love the hats. But we got to move on, Scott. That's part of who I am. We'll get into that a little bit, but that creativeness, just bringing it out.
I'll get over it. Okay, so I'm curious, and I don't ask this question all the time, but I'm curious about Lady Jewel. What is the impetus? What is the origin story for your company name?
My company name? Oh, well, that one is fun. Again, for everyone, my name is actually Pearl Filani. That is my name. And so Jewel comes from that because my name is a jewel. And then Lady, I always honestly, I think it probably has a lot to do because I love the British royal family and just all of that. So I've always considered myself a lady. And I thought if I was ever going to have a company name, I would call it Lady Jewel. And I was a teenager when that name came to me. So it wasn't attached to anything. It was literally, if I was going to ever own my own company, it was going to be called Lady Jewel, which was a play off my name without it actually being named after me.
You were right. It's a great story. But I have to confess, and I know that you're Pearl Filani, and I didn't mean no disrespect by not using your full name, but you're like Madonna. You're like Cher. You're just the one name. You're Bono. You're Pearl. So I guess if I need the rest, I'll do that. But you come across as just a one word name to me.
It's true. I do have people that means Pearl. That's it. I also actually have friends because my name runs really well who are on the opposite end where they're like, no, she's Pearl Filani. And that's all they will call me, even though they've known me for years.
That's interesting. Okay, so we've got the name thing out of the way. Tell us about Lady Jewel.
Well, Lady Jewel for me is a lot of fun. It's about events. And I tell people I love experiences. That's really what it boils down to. And a well-done event is creating an extraordinary experience. And that's what we really try to do at Lady Jewel is help people create extraordinary experiences. If you've been around me in any length of time, you'll find out I have a marketing background. I love storytelling. And so to me, an event, it's a live action story, because I love going to the plays and theaters. So an event is just that to me. It's like, okay, we're telling a live action story in real time. And when you do that well with your event, then you create these amazing experiences. And that's what we really do here at Lady Jewel. And that's what I love bringing onto the table when working with just different people, different clients, whether it's a wedding, because you're telling someone's love story, or it's a corporate event, or it's a celebration, it's a social event, you're still telling a story and you're telling it in a fun and a unique way for that person or organization or group.
I have a DJ friend, you probably know David Hoyt. He always references the DJ that says, I've done 100 weddings. Well, yes, but you've done 100 of the same wedding over and over and over again. And the only thing that has changed is the venue and the couple getting married, and everything else is identical. And yet, when I hear you say experiences, I'm guessing that means that each is different.
It is. I mean, when you do a wedding, there's a point where it's like a wedding's a wedding. I'm like, yes, but it's still a unique person. It's still a unique story, how they tell it, so you can bring it in. And I do a lot of corporate events. So that already is going to tell you that it's different and it's unique. It's not about telling the same event over and over again. It's about understanding what is the story, what's the objective, what's the goal, and how do we do it in its best way. And because of that, then you end up creating unique experiences each and every single time, even if you've worked with that same organization or same individual before.
So it's not, well, we've always done it that way, and we always do it this way, and we're going to continue to do it the same way every single time.
I don't think my brain even works that way anymore.
Well,
I've been a
that's good.
project manager. Half the time, your goal is, okay, here's the plan, but here's my backup, my 5 backup plans in case plan 1 doesn't work. I mean, I'm built to think, okay, if this doesn't work, how do I do it this way? How do I do it this way? That's what I did as a marketer, let alone now as an event planner. And so because of that, I don't have the luxury of saying this is the way we've always done it, so we're going to keep doing it this way. Because guess what? If the only way you've ever done it blows up in your face, you are SOLs then for that moment in time.
Wow. Hold on. I just want to bask in that wonderful knowledge, that piece of, if you've always done it that way, and if something goes wrong with the way that you've always done it, and you don't have a plan B, what are you going to do? And that's essentially what you're describing. Did I get this right?
You did.
Oh my God. It's powerful, only for those who need to hear it. You know, I'm the unique guy, so it resonates with me. But for everybody who is, well, I've got this down to a science, and it's a wedding, and we know exactly what it's going to be, or it's a corporate event, and we have these 3 components, and then we're done. And I'm not hearing that. So let's talk about vision and story and corporate. What if they come to you and they say, well, I don't know what we want to do. We're looking for something. Do they need to have something, or can you bring to the party some ideas and let them pick and choose?
I can bring to the party, because what we're really going to start is a bunch of questions. Scott, you know me, I'm a bit nosy.
Yes, and I haven't answered those 16 questions previously because they're way too private.
But I'm not that person that thinks I know everything. Sometimes I do, but most of the time, like, it's a lot easier if I ask you a bunch of questions. So if someone comes to me and says, hey, we have this idea, or we want to do our quarterly annual meeting. Okay, I'm going to sit down and go, okay, well, what's the objective of your quarterly annual meeting? How have you done it before? What are things that your employees have enjoyed before? What are things that they haven't enjoyed before? Is there anything new you like to see? As you can see, we're question number 5, and those are 5 big questions, right? But by the time we go through these questions, it gives me now an idea of, okay, here's, well, 1, are you flexible on changing things? So, right? Or are you expecting me to basically tell you what you've done before is the greatest, best thing in the world? If that's the case, I may not be the best planner for you. This may not be the best company for you, because really what I focus on is being able to say, okay, here's how you've done it before, but here's what people are saying, and here's where we can take what they're saying so we can increase their engagement and likeness of it. Here's some tools that may help do that better for you, even better than how you have it in the past.
Wow. I love when I'm talking to somebody and they answer my question before I've asked it. So intuitive, so on point. Well done. Certainly the sign of a good planner.
Well, as a planner, you're a problem solver in one sense, first and foremost. Yes, you're a planner, meaning you're actually putting pen to paper of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But really, you're a problem solver. You are helping someone say, here's something I need to have happen. Here's the objective, the goal. Help me put A and B together in such a way that C, it comes out quite fantastic. That's what I'm doing as a planner.
Isn't F for fantastic? But I'll settle for C.
Yeah, so people have interesting feelings about the letter F. So A plus B equals C.
Man, Don't even get me started about that. I was thinking about somebody who left Ensemble because I sent the letter that the subject line said WTF, which did not stand for what you
No.
think it stands for. It was something about welcoming and Thursday and something else, and they took it the wrong way. Anyway, right you are. Sidebar. Moving on, let's talk about Pearl. So mostly corporate, not really wedding, but you can do weddings. And I get that.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I want to talk about corporate with COVID. And what are we doing today?
Well, with the world of COVID, everyone's gone online. I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of people have gone online. There are events that are still happening in person, and you have to be very specific on how you do that, especially the larger scale events. They are definitely
Are you talking about that underground thing?
underground, but there's also just events that are actually happening because they've had the long established relationships. So cities are giving out those waivers or they're not taking them back, but you have to show them, here's how we're going to do this event in such a way that it's safe to your audience and to the public. You know, I had someone who just went to NASCAR. They had 8,000 people there, but I mean, that is like 1/10 of the drop of what they normally have, but still they had a very specific protocol. Here's how we're doing it. Here's what we're doing. It was very clear. So that's why I say, yes, they're actually absolutely happening and doing them safely. And I'm able to help people do that and plan that, which is great. But from a digital standpoint, I love technology a lot. I think I was probably one of the first people, I don't know if I was one of the first people you met, but I was definitely one of the first people that utilized, let's say, digital business card very regularly and consistently.
I remember the first day we met, I said, where's your card? So I could get it on the video screen. And you said, I'll send it to you digitally. And I just kind of looked up and went, huh? You didn't have a card. And I thought, I like this girl. Can I say girl? You know, woman. I'm sorry.
I'm not insulted.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so I love technology. And because of that, this has been fun to learn all this different technology and the different platforms. And so part of my offerings is now just helping people be comfortable hosting classes for people to be able to practice being on, say, a Zoom call or other platforms, because there are quite a few different platforms. I know it's shocking for people to hear that there's more than Zoom. There is. And so I'm here for you to be able to practice on those different platforms, but also just hosting and engaging, having engaging events on the digital platform. That's very important, because the last thing you want is just boxes of people. There's ways to do it really well. And I know, Scott, that you have some amazing offerings that way as well. There are other vendors that are doing such fantastic things online that help bring back that engagement into the event. And again, so my role though as a planner doesn't change really. My job is still, here's point A, here's point B, help me C to get to it.
And of course, hybrid, I'm assuming.
Yes, and hybrid. And the funny thing is I just did a video about hybrids, just 3 quick points, three quick tips on just how to do that. And again, for anyone who doesn't understand hybrid, it's really what it means, which is you have a mix of an in-person audience and online audience. And one of the biggest things is, who's your main audience? And then you go from there. And I even got a certificate just to be able to say, hey, I've learned some additional things. So I'm really versed in being able to help you bring those events online, or if you're doing a hybrid event, being able to help you do that really well and engaging and in creative ways.
So I have a question, and I'm going to allow you the opportunity to not answer the question if you don't feel comfortable answering. And I haven't in any of the spotlights so far asked this question, but I think it's going to be helpful for those listening and for all of us to know. There are DJs, and I use DJs as an example often because that's what I do as a profession. There are DJs that don't care. They just don't. I mean, it's about their living, and they're going to book it, and they're going to schedule it, and they're going to perform, whether it's 50 people, properly distanced, physically distanced, with or without masks. And then others that say, if it's not distanced, or if it's 300 guests and nobody's wearing masks, then I'm not interested. So they're just, I'm not passing judgment either way, but I am curious if you've got a corporate client that says, and you can pick your number, whether it's 100 or 1,000 people, but they're not interested in following the rules. You'll do it? You won't do it?
I personally, well, it depends, I suppose, on how you look at it. I'm about the safety of the attendees and everyone that's involved, including myself. So even though there aren't necessarily actually rules, there's guidelines, right? Here's what the governor has said, here's what the city said, here's these things. So it's from that mindset of, okay, are you doing your event in such a way that you showing care to those that are in attendance of your event? If you are, I'm happy to participate. If you're not, then I'm not the best person for you.
Okay. And that's a respectful answer, which I would expect nothing less from you. And I'm essentially in the same boat as a performer. If people are going to behave and be careful, and it's a safe environment for all concerned, let's party. And if not, then I may not be the right DJ for you. I did an event recently, and I was the only person wearing a mask. And they even came up and said, "Why are you wearing that thing?" And I said, "It's for my protection and for yours as well." And whether they got that or not, that was their choice. And thank you for letting me share my piece of business there. Back to you. You do events, you do corporate, you do wedding, mitzvahs?
Not mitzvahs.
Okay, but Nigerian.
Well, I do Nigerian weddings. So I tell people that I do 18 plus, basically. When it comes,
okay, 18 plus meaning age 18 plus.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, I did like a high school event once, but I have so many extraordinary just friends and planners that they are so good in that space. My space is, I'm used to adults.
You need adults.
And also mostly because I focus in the corporate world that just lends itself towards, right, adults. So, and the other spaces, I can be a little over the top if someone gives me the latitude. And so then you have to be willing. At that point, it's as much my event as it is your event. And with teens, it's more about them, rightly so.
Okay, but you've tempted me with the over the top. So for my closing question today, I'd really like for you to describe for us your idea of an over the top experience.
Over the top experience. Well, I will tell you of an idea that I have in my head, and we'll just go from there. How about that? What I would love one day to do is create a live action board game, whether it's like Candyland or Shoots and Ladders or something like that, where we literally take the board game, we build it out in real life, and then you, the person, become the board piece and you play through the game. We'll have music, we'll have vendors, but we create that. And I don't know, there's a lot of fun and love for the older board games. And I thought, how cool would it be to just create the live action version of that and have people play through that? And it's for a minute. So, it's only going to be around for a week or two. It's not like this is a consistent continuing thing, but you get to have this experience. You get to play, you get to have fun, you get to relieve it. You get to be the board piece, and you now have that story to be able to tell.
So we planned this car rally. Are you familiar with what a car rally is?
Well, I'm familiar. If you mean, I know like the old, when people have the classic cars and they come together and show off all their cars like that. Of course, there's also the Barrett Jackson. That. So I'm not sure which version you're going with.
So not that car rally. This is a car rally where they show up in their classic cars, as you described, and they get a map with directions, and they're off to the races. And they have to follow the map, and at each destination there's a clue, and the clue takes them to the next place.
Oh, okay.
And we did this for a real estate agent who wanted to do something fun for his client appreciation party. And the map actually ends up at his house where there's a party. But all along the route, they're visiting his listings.
Very wise.
So I just thought I would share that with you because when you said life-size Candyland or Chutes and Ladders, there are corporate clients out there that would die for this. And I'm so glad you shared this with me because I'm always looking for a clever way to, present an idea. And now I got a better option. I can present you, let you then sell them on this idea.
Yes. Yeah. But so that's an idea that's in my head. And there's always more because someone will say something like, oh, hey, have you thought about this?
Hmm. So fun. You know what is, I started doing these EE spotlights and they were 15 minutes and then 20 minutes. And now I'm in 30-minute zone with the planners because you're just so wonderful. Please promise me you'll come back for a second bite at this apple.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of fun. It's always fun just chatting.
Any closing thoughts, Pearl, for those who are looking for a great experience?
For a great experience, don't limit your mind. When people are thinking about events or thinking of what they do, they're always like, well, I wanted to do this, but it can't happen. It's like, well, no, just say, what do you want? And let's see if we can build it. That's really what it's about. Give me the opportunity. And if it's not me, give us as planners, as professionals, event professionals, give us the opportunity to help you build that dream. Maybe we don't get it all the way to where you wanted it, but we can get that process started and then continue to go. I think of it, is it James Cameron who did Titanic and then Avatar? Well, he wanted to do Avatar a long time, but the technology didn't exist for the longest time. And then when it finally did, boom, he did it, right? But he never let go of that dream. And he didn't say, well, I'm not going to ever be a director now because I can't do exactly what I wanted. No, he kept doing that until what he wanted to do became a feasible thing. Same thing with events.
That's a great story and a great analogy as to what you bring to the party. Thank you so very much, Pearl Filani of Lady Jewel.
Thank you. It was wonderful. Thank you, Scott.